Hello everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Dr. Carmen Bryant, and this is Redefining Yourself. This program is overthrowing narcissist abuse. And so to all my new subscribers, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for finding something valuable that I have to say that'll help you in your process of healing or in your process of escape. We're not victims, but we are survivors. And so those of you that have left and you're recovering and need more information, hopefully this information, there's hundreds of videos on my channel. You go through the video. Some of the questions that you guys ask, I have already answered. So just go look through the videos to see which one fits you. If I have not answered your question, please, email me at Dr. Carmen Bryant, DrCarmenBryant at outlook.com, and let me know your interest at what videos you would like me to address. I will be revisiting. I do have a PTSD and complex PTSD video that I did early on when I first started filming, but I'm going to come back. I'm going to revisit that because a lot of the information that you guys are giving me and the things that you're experiencing are symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder. And so I'm going to go back and revisit that topic to discuss post-traumatic stress, okay? And today, but first of all, before we start, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It is Dr. Carmen Bryant, Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. Hit the bell so you know whenever I come on. I post Tuesday through Friday, pre-recorded videos, and then on Sundays I come on live between 8 and 9 o'clock to answer your questions. I leave it open for live questions and answers, and you guys are welcome to come and ask me whatever question you'd like to ask. And I'm also on Facebook. I'm under Psychological Health Consultants and Services. Hit the bell so that you know whenever I upload and whenever I post videos. Also, those of you that have inquired that are within the Christian arena, those of you that are Christian in the belief system, I know that everyone on here is not of the same belief system, and so I try to bring you information from the clinical perspective, but those of you that have been asking and inquiring more on the spiritual side, meaning the Christian side, when I say spiritual side, each one of you have your own distinct spiritual belief system, but those of you that have inquired about the Christian side, and the beliefs and questions in reference to narcissism, my mentor also does videos. Outstanding mentor. She's been my mentor and my leader for the past 12 years. Outstanding lady. Her name is Apostle Helen Sadler. You can find her on Facebook. It's under Apostle Helen, or she posts under, she does have a YouTube channel. She's usually on Periscope. So she's done years on Periscope. So there's a lot of information on there that talks about all topics, because she is, first of all, the presiding prelay of Into His Chambers Global Ministries with other churches and ministries and church leaders under her. So she's a very astute, knowledgeable, profound teacher. A wonderful teacher. She travels. She's worldwide, and she's worldwide known. And also she just started her YouTube channel, and she has been addressing narcissism from a Christian perspective. You can find her. Please go and subscribe to her channel. It is Helen Sadler, Destiny Helper. Helen Sadler, Destiny Helper. And follow her. If you go to my Facebook page, I post those videos on there from YouTube so that you guys can follow the link to the YouTube channel. So that gives you about, I do believe in the whole person concept, especially as a clinician. I believe in the whole person concept. I believe in taking care of the soul, which is your emotions, your mind, your thoughts, and think about it when you come into psych care, psychology, the study of the soul, your mind, your emotions, your will, your thoughts, and so I deal a lot with the emotions. I deal with your thoughts. But then I also do believe in balancing everything out, taking care of your body, health-wise, eating-wise, sleep-wise, and then also, a healthy balance with the spiritual side, whatever your belief system is when it comes to the spiritual aspect, of your life. And so I do believe that you need to balance yourself out when it comes to the healing process. And I think Karen asked, the process of healing. It sounds like you're dealing with, a fresh discard, and you are going through a lot of the symptoms of complex post-traumatic stress or post-traumatic stress. And so I highly recommend going to counseling, finding a good counselor that understands post-traumatic stress, domestic violence. Not all counselors understand narcissist abuse and the effects of it, and they handle it like normal domestic violence. It's not normal domestic violence. It's elevated domestic violence. It's totally insidious and very dangerous. But find someone that understands post-traumatic stress, domestic domestic violence. Ask them if they understand narcissism. If they don't, then you just focus on the post-traumatic symptoms and learn coping mechanism, coping skills to help you to understand what's going on in your body. But find a good counselor or a life coach. I am also a life coach here. The life coach allows me to extend beyond the limits of my license within the state of Washington. I cannot provide counseling outside of the limits of the state of Washington because I am licensed in the state of Washington. And so I do offer coaching services that I can extend myself outside of the state of Washington. And coaching is very goal-oriented. It's not focused on mental health issues. It's goal-oriented to work on recovering from narcissism. And so if you are interested, just email me and I will send you a package to let you see the different packages and the pricings, and we can talk. And we can do face-to-face just like you see here. It'll be live. I have spoke to many of you, beautiful people, face-to-face live like this, and it's really been an honor and a pleasure speaking to you that have been, that are on my subscribers on the YouTube channel. And so today, let's go over, let's talk about cognitive dissonance. And so as I was researching it this morning, I came to, if you go to simplypsychology.org, they really, Saul McLeod really broke cognitive dissonance down. And so let me go through this. So in here he says cognitive dissonance, there we go. Cognitive dissonance refers to a situation involving conflicting attitudes, beliefs, or behaviors. This produces a feeling of mental discomfort, leading to an alteration in one of the attitudes, belief, or behaviors to reduce the discomfort and restore balance. I know you're saying, what does that mean? So let's go deeper. For example, when a person smokes, that's the behavior, and they know that smoking causes cancer. That's cognition, that's thought. There's a state of cognitive dissonance and unease. So think about when people are in relationship with a narcissist or have left the narcissist, the relationship, that's the behavior, being in a relationship, or even the thought of going back. Well, the cognition, the logic is that that this person never loved you. This person is incapable of loving you. This person has inflicted pain on you and emotional pain, and you may be dealing with the emotions. So you're dealing with the emotions that go behind it, but yet the logic behind it is that you need to leave, but your emotions are overriding the logic behind it. You're dealing with cognitive dissonance, okay? So here it gives an example of cognitive dissonance, which was first investigated by Leon Festinger, arising out of a participant observation study of a cult which believed the earth was going to be destroyed by a flood and what happened to its members, particularly the really committed ones who had given up their homes and jobs to work for the cult when the flood did not happen. When fringe members were more inclined to recognize that they had made fools of themselves. Think about this. You're in the relationship with a narcissist, and once you leave and look at the situation, you feel like a fool. That's why I tell you guys, stop feeling guilty. It wasn't your fault, but you feel like a fool. But put it down to experience. Committed members were more likely to reinterpret the evidence to show that they were right all along. The earth was not destroyed because of the faithfulness of the cult members. This is how the narcissist operates. You know certain information, and you deal with the cognitive dissonance. You know that this relationship is not a real relationship, and you're dealing with what the narcissist is saying to you to keep putting you back in check, putting you, the trauma bonding, they're putting you back in check, and you're struggling with the logic and the reality, but the emotions behind it and what the narcissist is saying, you're struggling with both the logic and the reality, the reality versus what the narcissist is doing and saying and how you feel. So this is that uncomfortable feeling, that discomfort that you're feeling. So let's see. So Festinger, in 1957, cognitive dissonance theory suggests that we have an inner drive to hold all our attitudes and behavior in harmony and avoid disharmony or dissonance. And so whatever, that love bombing is so powerful that is your thought throughout the relationship with the narcissist. I know that they have good in them because I experienced it when we got together. Something happened where the narcissist may have went this in your mind. You're thinking, you're making this, you're rationalizing, you're making excuses for this narcissist. Something has happened, or life is caught up of all the terrible things that happen. So you're making excuses for the narcissist, and your hope is always that they'll return back to the way that they were when they were love bombing you. The love bombing phase was never a real, it was an illusion. They played a role in order to pull you in. That was never them. The real them is what you're experiencing, that you hope that they change to go back to the fake them. But the real them is what you are seeing. And so your mind is, you're dealing with dissonance because your mind and your heart is hold on, I don't know what my little page is doing here. But your mind and your heart is trying to go back to bring harmony to this dissonance, to the reality check that you have now, and you keep focusing on the love bombing. I know that he or she has good in them. I know because I remember when you keep going to the love bombing phase. The love bombing phase was so fiction. It was a fiction story, a facade. So when there is an inconsistency between attitudes or behavior, the dissonance, something must change to eliminate the dissonance. Okay, so let's talk about change one or more attitudes, behavior, beliefs to make the relationship between the two elements a constant one. So when one of the dissonant elements is a behavior, the individual can change or eliminate the behavior. So either you step out of the relationship, but now you're having to deal with the emotions, or you stay in the relationship and you convince yourself that it's going to get better. However, this mode of dissonance reduction frequently presents problems for people, as it is often difficult for people to change well-learned behavior or responses, like giving up smoking, or because you have been groomed, you have been manipulated, and you have been trained to accept the abuse, the love bombing, the gaslighting, the ghosting. You have been trauma bonded to this individual. And so it is hard for you to change and accept the reality of your situation because of how you have been bonded and trauma bonded to this individual. So you're dealing with this dissonance. You know, but you're not ready to accept. You know, but I'm not ready to face the feelings and the withdrawal symptoms from this relationship. So let's see. Here it says, let me fix this. So let's see. For example, thinking smoking causes lung cancer will cause dissonance if a person smokes. Going back into a relationship with a narcissist, hold on, let me scroll back up. So here it says, thinking smoking causes lung cancer will cause dissonance if a person smokes. So thinking going back into the relationship or staying in the relationship with a narcissist will cause you more trauma, more pain, more heartache. Remembering what has happened, remembering the pain, can cause dissonance about going back and into the relationship. However, new information such as research has not proved definitely. So now you're going to rationalize. So here, trying to rationalize, okay, I've looked for research and not all research proves that smoking causes lung cancer. So now that reduces that dissonance. All you're wanting is almost like you want someone to tell you that the relationship was real. You want someone to prove to you that you are in a narcissistic relationship to decrease that dissonance. When in reality, you, in the back of your mind, you already know that is a narcissistic relationship. They never had feelings for you. They never bonded with you, and they never loved you. That is the struggle right there. Let's see. So here it says a person could convince themselves that it's better to live for today than to save for tomorrow. So you convince yourself that it's better to have this person, to have this narcissist and go through what you go through than to be without them and to suffer emotionally, the emotional pain and the trauma and the after effects and the aftermath of being in a relationship, or leaving the relationship. So in other words, you could tell yourself that a short life filled with smoking is sensual pleasure is better than a long life devoid of such joys. So really you're convincing yourself that an abused life, a ghosting life, and a lone life with the narcissist is better than not being without the narcissist and having to feel the emotional pain and the withdrawal symptoms when the fuel levels in the oxytocin runs low, the dopamines and the serotonin start running low, and you need that chemical like jump start. So you just want to reach out and talk to the narcissist, be with the narcissist. Excuse me, guys. Okay, sorry about that. So let's see. Let's scroll down some more. So, forced compliance behavior. When someone is forced to do publicly something that they privately, in their mind, really don't want to do, dissonance is created between their cognition, their thoughts, I didn't want to do this, and their behavior, I did it. So let's see how we can put this together. So when forced to do something publicly, but privately you really forced to do something, okay, so let's say, we can't say you're forced out of the relationship. You know, the force usually comes with the what's it called? The discard. Whether you discard it or they discard it, you know. So sometimes it's a forced decision you have to make to discard, but yet in your emotions, the emotions are not letting you let go because it's too painful. So you know that you were forced out of the relationship, whether they discarded you, so they forced you out of the relationship and you weren't ready, but you know that that might be your open opportunity to get out of the relationship. The whole process now remains staying out of the relationship. You're struggling between your heart, your emotions, and logic. And publicly, people now know you've been discarded, or, you know, and the humiliation and the hurt and the pain behind that, and people, you think people are judging you, and you think that people are laughing at you, and this person is with someone else and they're making it public, and you're dealing with the humiliation, and you know, you're dealing with the, you know, does he love her or does she love him more, you know. So think about, but logically you know that you don't need to be in a relationship with this person. You know that this person has not changed. Been with the person 10, 15, 2, 3 years, whatever. They have never changed their behavior. You have the evidence in front of you, but you struggle with the emotional bond with this individual. You prefer to not experience the emotional pain versus the knowledge that you're receiving that you don't need to be in the relationship. Cognitive dissonance. So let's see. And forced compliance can also mean, you know, the trauma bonding part. You're forced to do something that you know in your mind is not right. You're forced to do something through the trauma bonding, through the humiliation, through the embarrassment, through physical attacks, through money withholding, through emotional withholding, through ghosting, through discarding, that you're forced to comply. They'll use the discard to force you to comply to what they want you to do, how they want you to act, you know, how they want you to change, how they want you to do what they tell you to do. Yet in your mind, you know, I don't want to do this. This is not even my character. Cognitive dissonance. Let's see, what else do we got? Let's see. Let's see, here it talked about decision making. So suppose you decide whether to accept a job in an absolutely beautiful area of the country or turn down a job so that you can be near your friends and family. Either way, you experience dissonance. So having to choose, leaving the narcissist versus staying with the narcissist and not having friends. So leaving the narcissist and slowly getting your life back, slowly getting your person back, slowly getting yourself back, getting your businesses up and going again, getting your money back together, getting your life back together, versus staying with the narcissist and knowing that if you're with the narcissist, you're completely isolated, you don't have friends and a support system anymore. You know, that creates cognitive dissonance. And so that was just a really easy example. So let's look. I'm trying to scroll. My page is just scrolling by itself. Okay, let's look. Here it talks about effort. So it seems to be the case that we value most highly those goals or items which we have required considerable effort to achieve, And so maintaining this relationship has required a considerable effort to achieve in your mind, not to them. You're the only one that's in the relationship. They're not. You've built this world around them because that's what they wanted you to do that doesn't exist for them. For you as a reality, for them it's a game. But to you, it's such an achievement. You know, you've purchased homes with this person. You've, rental properties and automobiles and invested money and time and businesses in there. To you, it's a great investment. And so you know in your mind that this is not real. And you struggle with the reality, the logics. That's why you get angry with people when they bring you the facts. That's why some people are just not ready for counseling. They're not ready for coaching. They're not ready to deal with a person who's going to tell it like it is because they're not struggling with you. And they'll get angry and bitter with you. They'll argue with you, but it's not you that they're arguing with. They are actually dealing with cognitive dissonance. They're struggling with themselves. They're fighting and arguing with themselves because they know, the reality and the logic behind it and the evidence you have versus the struggle of the emotions and the investment you made into this relationship. They didn't invest, you invested all this. And now you're looking at what the loss is, all this that I have put into this relationship. All these years I've spent investing in this relationship, my heart, my soul, my youth, my health. I've given up my body for children. I've given my money, my finances, my business. I've invested all this into this relationship, and it's an empty hole I've invested in. It's an empty hole that gives no return back. Who's going to invest money into something they get no return? Most of you are working and you're putting money into an IRA or a retirement plan. So most of you, your thoughts are, I'm not going to work all my life. And so some of you have, IRAs or thrift saving plans or some type of retirement set up where you're putting money in, and then the job is also adding, the job that you're with is adding to what you're adding in to balance out what you're putting in for retirement. Or even in the military, at one point in time, I think they've changed it now. At one point in time, you work 20 years in the military, you give them 20 years, then you get 20 years, you get retirement back with full benefits, medical benefits. You still have base privileges, and you get money, you get paid, not the whole amount, but you get half the amount that you were making at the highest grade or the highest pay that you had in the military. But who wants to invest in something that yields no return? You put all this stuff in. It's like putting something in the stock market that you know for a fact is going to fail. Or you put something in the stock market and it crashes, or the person that you were investing with stole all your money. That's basically what you're doing with a narcissist. You're investing all this into the narcissist, and they're stealing everything from you. They steal your life, they steal your health, they steal your joy. They stole everything from you. So it's an empty investment. It has a no return investment. No one's going to put money in where there's no, even the banks give you a little bit, at least a little bit. They give you nothing in return but heartache, the negative return, the heartache, the pain. But now you're attached to, I can't believe I've invested this much in here. I've got to try to make this work. And you have gotten the information, you're on these videos, you've talked to people, you're dealing with a narcissist. The problem now is the cognitive dissonance. You're arguing back and forth that this can't be possible. This is not real. I cannot believe this. Look how much I've lost. If I leave right now, look how much I'm losing. I have to start all over again. Cognitive dissonance. Okay, so I think we've hit it. Let's see. I think we've addressed it. I've been able to address it. There we go. As if you guys are talking at the same time. So I think I've gotten everything out that I wanted to get out. So hopefully that made sense. You got some more information about cognitive dissonance. So some of you, that's where your struggle is at. You're dealing with cognitive dissonance. And so you know the truth, but it's hard to accept the reality. And you're balancing between, the reality of it, and you're dealing with the emotions behind it. In the military, we always say bottom line up front. Anytime you write a memorandum or a letter or an email, you write it, and you probably write it fueled with energy and fueled with emotions. That's the time you put it out there, and then you step back from it. You don't hit send. You just look at it and leave it alone. Then when you've calmed down and you come back to the situation, you take all the emotions out of it, and then you stick to the facts. You know, when you go in and talk to a CEO, you don't come in there all emotional talking about, you know, the finances and the money that you put into a company and what we need to do. And then you're standing in there briefing all these CEOs and business people, and you're in there crying, you know, you guys have to believe me, you know, and this way here shows the scale, and this is the years. And, you know, now who's going to look at you? Who's going to listen to you? They're like, okay, he or she is entirely too emotional. You know, I'm not too, I don't think I want to invest in this company. You guys are entirely too emotional. I don't need emotions. I need facts. I don't need emotions. I need you to stick to the facts. I need you to focus, you know. So remember, you know, stick to the facts and move your emotions out. I know it's painful. Move the emotions out of the way for a minute and look at logic. Take a piece of paper, write down your emotions. Then on the other side, write down the reality, write down the facts, and then fold it in half. And every time you experience the emotions, you look at the emotions, flip it back over and look at the facts. You know, do this, you know, flip it back and forth and look at the facts. And some of the facts can be horrifying. You know, he killed my dog, like TMG said, killed my dog. He was planning on killing you. Another young lady, me and her had to share a laugh because the narcissist ex-husband, who actually was a pastor, moved in with a new supply in the back of her house. So he had his little sardine can in the back, his little sardine box in the back, and lived, you know, never happily ever after in her backyard. You know, I mean, look at the facts. You know, you still have nothing. You came in with nothing. You still have nothing. And for those of you that, you know, and I'm not knocking, because I don't know who all I have on my YouTube channel. I don't know your socioeconomic status. I don't know, you know, but a lot of you have not ever met a high grade or greater narcissist. You think you have, but you've probably met a mid-grade going over into the high functioning high grade. But most people have not really experienced a high-grade narcissist. A high-grade narcissist looks for high-grade fuel. They're, you know, if they connect with someone that is just the average individual, you're probably not primary. You probably never be primary fuel to them. They look for high-grade people. They look for people that are in high positions, political arena, the entertainment business, within the on television, when you're dealing with like the pastors and televangelists, people that are in the public eye, people that have lots and lots to lose, high status individuals. The greater narcissist doesn't look for small supply. They look for great investments. They look for high investments. So a lot of people have never really run into a greater narcissist. If you had, they didn't keep you around very long, you know, because it's like you're a potato chip. What I'm looking for is filet mignon. You know, you have a rowboat. I'm looking for that billion-dollar yacht. These are high grade. Some of you have not run into high grade. You've done it did to higher grade mid-range, but not the high grade. The high or the greater narcissists are the elite, the top of the narcissist spectrum. These are the ones that are sociopaths, psychopaths. These are the ones that are so calculative. They calculate even when you blink your eyes, when you brush your teeth, what earring you put in first. These are the ones, these, like my mentor said, these are some bad boys and girls. These are ones that don't look for the average person. These are the ones that are looking for high fuel, high investment, where they get high fuel, high investment, high public arena, you know, high grade. So a lot of you have never experienced the greater narcissist, but beware that they are out there. You know, they are out there. You may have come in contact with them, but a lot of times they don't find any, you know, they find a little fuel, but not what they need at their level. When they move through the narcissist spectrum, they get to the high, the insatiable appetite for fuel, and that type of fuel that they have learned to. Remember, every time that narcissist goes to a new fuel, it seems like it's another level above you. Mentally is not, you know, emotionally is not, because they're at a higher range, because they have experienced different types of supply, and they've morphed into these different types of supply. But just because a person is in the upper echelon, in the entertainment field, in the political arena, does not mean emotionally they're not equivalent to you. Their status may be higher than yours, but emotionally they're the narcissists, they're more skilled to get into that area. They know, and they're more patient. You know, they're more patient. So some of you have never really experienced a greater. Some of you may have, because I don't know who's on YouTube and on Facebook. So I don't know your economic status. I don't know your political status. I don't know your status, fame, fortune, whatever. But a lot of people have not experienced the greater because the greater is not interested in the common person. So just remember that, okay? So thank you guys once again for tuning in. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's Dr. Carmen Bryant, Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. Thank you for all the kings that have joined us and share your experience with us with female narcissists. For those that are female, majority of the people on the YouTube, when I went and looked at the statistics, most of them are females. But now the kings are coming in and they're able to interject their experiences. So we all know that narcissism is narcissist abuse. Narcissist abuse is narcissist abuse. And we experience the same thing, just different people. The emotions that you have, same thing, different people. And females, act a little different than males do, but they do the exact same thing. So remember that, okay? And for those of you, I also have a Facebook page. It's Psychological Health Consultants and Services. Some of you have requested friend request under my personal page. Unless I know you, I won't let you into my personal page, okay? That is my personal private page. So for those of you that would like to join me on my professional Facebook page, you can. Psychological Health Consultants and Services. Hit the thumbs up so you know whenever I post. Thank you once again for joining me. I always enjoy it. It's a pleasure and it's an honor to be able to educate, to teach, and to those people that are willing to learn. Thank you so much. And as my friend always says, go and be great. Have a wonderful day.